What is objection? All this thing we are going to see. So in nutshell, first let me say or ask you, do you want to hammer it? Whenever objections are made, agents become restless. So due to that restlessness, they something irrelevant, or they showing the annoyingness to the party. But you should not do. What then? You should handle it properly. You should handle it. So I am going to explain in detail what is objection. Then only you can handle objections. Without knowing what is objection, you cannot handle objections. Okay. Types of objections. First is called initial objections. What are all we will see initial objections, how to handle it. Second, middle objection, that is while canvassing or explaining, they may ask some objections, that is called a middle objection. Then after finishing your demo or presentation, closing objections will be put forth by the proponent. Even after closing, completing the policy, after sales objections also are being raised by the policyholders. So till closing they are called proposers. After closing, they are called policyholders. After, first understand rejections versus objections. The fact is, rejection is part of the sales process. See, whatever we present or represent, we fully or eagerly want each and every one to buy. How it can be? How it can be? So definitely it will not be. Most of the times it will be rejected. Most of the time it will be rejected. Why? Because they may not need it. They may not to some extent at that time. Many more things. Many more things. Having been approached by you, what is the necessity that they have to buy? Ask yourself. So your job is to only approach people. That's why you have to approach more and more people, because rejections are part of sales process. Rejections are part of, or I can say most of the part, rejections are in the sales process. Your job as a sales representative is to reduce the number of rejections that you are getting. Now what you see, shift your thinking. That's why from negative I am slowly going to positiveness. See my way of presentation. You will enjoy it. So first you have to accept that it is total negativity. Sales is total negativity. From that negativity, how you can develop to the positivity. That you have to develop. That art you have to develop. That art you have to learn. So sales is total negativity. First you take it in your mind. From that negativity, how you are going to slowly process to the positivity. That I am going to teach you. So your job as a sales representative to reduce the number of rejections. So first you have to develop the skill to handle men and matters. To handle, you may be thorough with the product knowledge, rules and regulations of the corporations. But if you don't know how to handle men and matter, definitely everything will be a total waste. Total waste. To do this, you have to understand the difference between a rejection and an objection. Rejection. In the sales profession, we define a rejection as definite no. Definite no. So, for each and every call, you step in with the mind that they will say no. This is the first thing you have to learn. When you step into the prospect, you first bring in your mind that they will say no. With that you have to develop. Then only you will meet more and more people. Otherwise you get dejection and rejection. Thereby you will close for the day or close for the week or close for the month or close forever this agency. So you have to develop from this stage. First be prepared for the worst. From worst how you can turn. So it is your job to turn it out. So in general public it is not greeny. It is not greeny, conducive atmosphere for salespeople. That you have to put it in your mind first. Okay? Already alarm has come. Another 10 more minutes I can take. Whatever goes till such time I will take the first session. Immediately after 5 minutes I will log on to the second session. Okay. The prospect isn't ready to buy because you haven't covered their concerns or you haven't met some of their demands. They are already having. If they want to buy or necessitated to buy, or after explaining you your what is called demo, after receiving your demo or explanation, if they are ready to buy but still they have some concerns to be addressed, some demands to be addressed, that you have to learn. If you are finding yourself getting discouraged by getting rejection after rejection, rejection after rejection, then what is probably happening is you are trying to close the sale too quickly by hook or crook method. Suppose if you get rejected by rejections after rejections, then you are, what it means that you want to quicken the process to complete into a proposal, rather policy. Okay, don't quicken, especially for big policies, big sum assured rather. Don't quicken. Depends upon the customer, you have to give more and more informations. That art you have to develop. You can overcome many of these objections by a very good initial presentation itself. See, my prime job is to educate you with my 40 years of experience and exposure that you should overrule the objections and rejections by your presentation. That is the art you have to develop. After asking For the objection, you should not explain. What are all the objections people will ask, you overrule in your presentation itself. You overrule in your presentation so that they will not. You would have covered all those objections. Whatever regularly coming one after the other, you have to cover in your presentation itself. Apart from your product presentation, or during the product presentation, you have to include all this thing, overcoming objections. I will tell you, you will enjoy this particular session, and definitely it will be an eye-opener for you all. Whatever experience you have, whatever stature you are,